Alright. Whoops. Apparently I don't remember what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, again, don't remember what I'm doing. It's been a long time since I played, and there's reasons for that. Isn't it funny seeing that Tick, I know why this is, but Tick has 2 magic charges per level and Wood has 1, even though Wood's higher level? Good explanation for that. It depends on when the person has class changed, but it's just interesting to look at. Okay, the next thing I was going to do was Kraken. The only item of significance I need down there is a ribbon. Yeah. And so I'm going to try and get that. I'm going to beat Kraken. I'm going to walk on all those stupid forest tiles. And then we're going to try Tiamat. Going to try and remember the rules. It's been a long time. Been out of practice. There are good reasons it's been a long time. I can get to those. Let's just see how this goes, though. See how I remember things. Let's also check that my stream is working. This guy is not allowed to attack. I'll just have him... Hey, Thor. Well, let's do this. Realizing I'm leaning really forward. Well, this is good. This is good. Yeah, a little dimly lit. I changed my space around in my house, so I'm not broadcasting from a couch anymore with a bunch of pictures of my kids behind me. This is a little better for ergonomics, certainly. For those of you who are ergonomics enthusiasts. I can only use 1 magic item per battle, so let's try this. Oh, crap, I just broke a rule. Okay, better reset. It's early, right? This is me off to a perfect start. But use 1 magic item per battle. I guess that means I can blow away a turn by using a non-magic item, right? Because that's really the only way you can do nothing in this game. There's no defend command the way there is in later games. Can't run because of my rules. This looks familiar. Oops, I meant to do heal. Oh well. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to last long. Tick, Wood, Mars, and Luke. Luke, who is dead. So, all 4 characters may not be alive at the same time, thus Luke being dead. Furthermore, as an addendum to that, there's a rule further down that is, each fiend needs to be defeated with a different party, essentially. Because of that, I'm going to try beating Kraken with this team, which shouldn't be an issue, really. And then my intention, which is just an intention, is that Mars will die and probably stay dead forever, even though I bought all this great magic for him. Nice experience here. Is this the floor with the ribbon? Would you believe I have no freaking idea? I really wish I looked at a map before I started. You know, at one time I did look at maps because I was thinking of problems like this. I would hate to miss a ribbon. I would really hate to miss a ribbon. This is not a very good fight. May not use more than 1 spellcasting item per battle. So, in a lot of cases, I'm going to be choosing between Heal Staff and Thor Hammer. want to waste anything I might end up needing. I don't know. I think I'm just going to do nothing. I think that doesn't ruin my rules, is using an item that doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, compared to my previous environment, I'm next to a window, so I might get distracted. I look like I'm in such a shady place. It's next to a window. It's still a little bit light out where I am. What if it's stupid things I do when I don't look at a map? Let's just get out of here. Oh, what a terrible thing to not be able to run from. This isn't actually going to kill anything, so I'm just going to not do that. In fact, I'm going to use my opal bracelet, which does nothing, first, because I'm pretty sure I briefly saw that I got a surprise attack on these opponents. So they're going to start attacking me afterward. Lobsters hit harder than sea snakes, as I recall. So I'm going to focus on them first. So I didn't play in at least 1 month, possibly nearly 2. In that time, if I recall correctly, both of my mother's parents passed away, so both my remaining grandparents passed away, which is kind of crappy, but they had long, full, interesting lives. I had a baby, my third. Look at this. Don't you wish I could... Oh, I can let 3 of these guys. Is that a waste? I need to think about what I'm doing here. We don't really have any gear for this purpose. Let's try to lit 3. Let's see what happens. I won't need all 4 of them, will I? It was a great time to avoid some damage. The mage stuff in this is kind of a near pointless failsafe. It might do the extra bit of damage if something happens to save on the lit 3. You don't want to sit here and get beat on by lobsters for like 4 turns while my fighters take them out. This might even end up making sense, right? Let's see what the mage staff does. Hey! See? Failsafe. So I really got out of this game. Yeah, during this run I also applied to and got into a master's program that I'm starting in the near future. Had a baby, applied to, interviewed for, and started a new job. And the new job, I was still working in my existing job to some extent. I was on vacation for a long time, and the new baby was here. So I realized I'm now missing the chat. Usually Morgan pops on. Not usually, occasionally. What was I going to say? Something to do with the job or something. Oh, the job's very exciting. Today was literally my first day. It was mostly an orientation type day. There was not much going on there. It was just exciting to be there, though. I have no restrictions on treasure chests. I'm pretty sure if someone else said they were doing a run like this, I would say something like, you can only approach treasure chests from the side. Unless it's a plot item, you can never get anything that you can't get from the side. I'm not sure if that's mean or not. I just think it'd be interesting. You'd think about the treasure chests you can get to. Some of them would really affect what you're able to get. But that's not very scary. I feel like this run's going great so far. It's a lot easier than the ice cave. Now I'm going to run into ghosts. You know it's going to be ghosts. I'm pretty sure with dedicated sessions and with some idea of what I'm doing, which apparently I didn't do this time. I just came down, didn't I? I would be done this in 2 more sessions. That said, I'm not sure. I might stop after this. I could really use a good night's sleep. Oh, look at this mess. I'm going to do something strange here. I'm going to use Lit 2 with the intention that I can then use Thor Hammer in a subsequent turn if I need to. Or Heal Staff, depending on how things go. Because I can only use 1 magic item per battle. And only once, at least that's my understanding. I think I'll be better off using a Thor Hammer. Get this fight done this round. They're not doing a lot of damage, that's for sure. Monsters have 3 hits, as you just saw there, so, you know, if they're critical, it can be pretty significant. I have a really good party order right now, which is interesting because my select button is banned. I can't reorder my party if I wanted to. I have to find the opal bracelet. Not the opal bracelet, the ribbon. I think I'll approach this one the exact same way. That seemed to work. Except that was a much harder hit. Can a Lit 2 even kill a lobster? I don't remember. I think its highest damage potential might be lower than a lobster's hit points. Why is it doing such crappy damage? Aren't they... I thought they were weak against it. Seeing as these guys are mostly doing 3 damage to me, and now I'm going to eat those words, but I've said them. I'm just going to let my fighters soak up the hits and deal the damage, and Mars is going to use the heal staff. I'm being all strategic here. The forest rule is really done being significant. It was most interesting probably on the walk to Bravoka. I kept dreading... Oh, forgot about this. My magic item for this battle will be the Mage Staff. Can't duplicate the spell effect because I can't use the same spell twice. All the rules are basically designed, many of the rules, make me favor fighter-type classes. I'm really glad I didn't bring a Black Mage. I'm going to whip out an Ice 2 here because it's otherwise not great in the Sea Shrine. It'll be great against the Cockatrices. Hopefully I don't get petrified here. I think we're going to be safe. Now, if I recall correctly, the mummies there, the wizard mummies, they're resistant against ice, but it'll still do some damage. Yeah. Well, that was suboptimal, but really not that bad. What did I just do? Oh, I was hoping to kill something with a fire spell. It doesn't happen terribly often in the late game. Power Gauntlet? That's a piece of garbage. The money isn't really going to do anything for me. I'm sure the ribbon is on this floor. I'm going to have to just scour the whole place. That chest looks like a chest I want. Eh? Is it that sea troll that hits really hard here? Is he the one who was doing 60s to my fighters? Won't be this time. One nice thing about streaming, which again I'm pretty new to, is when I do some kind of slick like action hero comment to my video game, there's this chance that someone's around to hear it. I know this is not the most popular stream in the universe, but still. Or is it? A little earlier than I normally stream, at least I think it is. My kids went to bed easily today, except the new one, who's with my wife, and my wife is watching a movie with a friend. Good opportunity to do this, but again, I don't want to stay up too late, so let's get rid of Kraken. That's the primary goal of the day. Well, that's not super useful, but it's not exactly going to do any harm. Yeah, that can just stay where it is. If there is anyone watching, you want to tell me where the ribbon is? Props. Yeah, I haven't had a ton of viewership. Someone was telling me, though, often it's hidden. And I don't know if that's because of people who watch afterward during that week or so when streaming. I'm not exactly the Twitch expert of the universe. This has been entertaining, though. And, I was doing challenge plays. Starting in November or so, I started that Phantasy Star 4 one. First, there was the No Hands challenge. Was that the first one? Yeah. And then there was a gratitude challenge, which is everyone grants you specific items you're allowed to use. Ooh, a little remix of an old favorite. And I was doing those, and I enjoy the game, I enjoy playing, but I just kept thinking, I want some kind of record that it's happening and that I'm succeeding at it. And I want people to see the entertaining parts, because there were entertaining parts. Drink a heal, Tech. Can you imagine what that's like? One person getting another person to drink during combat? You're like rushing your friend with a bottle in hand or something. Anyways, yeah, I was doing those challenges. I wish I had some kind of better documentation of them. And that's really the goal here. I'm not trying to entertain, especially. If I do, that's a byproduct. Thank you. Come again. So the right thing to do here is give it to someone who's alive, and I pick wood. I think I'm going to go ahead and not discard the silver helmet yet, because I might use the ribbon on Look later. That's going to be great. Like, in the meantime, it's a little bit less defense for him, but it's full elemental protection. It's going to be good. I'm really glad I found that. That was going to be the hiccup of the run. Oh, well, since the Elfland thing. You probably remember that if you've been watching or listening or reading my posts. What kind of environment does a Final Fantasy I enthusiast post in besides game FAQs? Like, I know there are fan sites. Do people still go to fan sites? Do people go on Reddit for things like this? I've never done that. I have an ID. I've never even really used it. Do people go on Reddit for things like this? Sorry, that was me checking my own stream to make sure I had volume. That was sloppy. There we go. I'm getting close to the end, I think. Yeah, I'd see no reason Kraken would be a problem. It'll probably be like 2 rounds, unless Mars gets clobbered. But even then, it'll be quick. So I think I'll at least get to the Mirage Tower. We'll see how it goes. You know, if I can do the whole thing by like 10, then that'd be pretty super. With the ribbons, I'm not expecting a ton of total party kills. Frankly, if I wanted to grind levels, it would be not absurd, because I could do Ice Cave leveling now reasonably safely. My levels are high enough. My ribbons would keep me safe from most things. High risk-ish, but really high reward. Yeah, these guys hit hard. The thing I remember about them, and maybe I'm remembering wrong, but 1 hit, but it's a heavy hit. So that's the kind that can damage a tank. Same goes for the earths and fires and such. That's kind of their jam. Unfortunately, I used my magic item on the first round without thinking about how much HP these guys had. Which makes me think, by the way, the Temple of Fiends Revisited is going to be a pain. So I will have total party kills. Almost definitely. I was just like, oh yeah, you run into swarms of 7 of these guys. And I'm going to have all melee. Because rationing spells through a long dungeon like that is a little painful, especially with a red mage. Not that his healing wouldn't be useful, but when you're taking as little damage as I will be because of my strong defenses, it ends up making as much sense to go with these guys. At least I think it does. We'll see. I could be proven wrong. And I will just accept that if that's the case. Mars is not really getting banged up, which is odd. I haven't also hit ghosts yet. Again, words I don't want to eat, but ghosts hit hard. Ghosts are nasty. Kraken's nasty. I remember a time distinctly when I went into the Kraken fight. I don't remember my exact party, but I had a red mage, and he was one-shotted on the first turn. And otherwise the fight didn't go bad, but just the fact that Kraken can one-shot a reasonably well-equipped mage. That's not even the wimpy mages, you know. Made me think Kraken does have something going for him, who is otherwise a not very remarkable major boss. I mean, ink, that's your special move, ink? That's pretty crappy. I would expect it from a fountain pen, not the Fiend of Water. Whoa. So Pokemon Go also happened between my last broadcast and this one, which is interesting because for some people it's basically a way of life now. I haven't really played. I installed it. I got to like level 2 walking to work one day, and then I decided nah. But it renewed my interest in the other Pokemon games. So it's actually wasted probably more of my time than others have. And I say that as someone who has 3 young children and a new job. Wasting a lot of my time is significant. I'm not saying I'm actually wasting my time or that I've actually played that much Pokemon, but that's irrelevant. That's unimportant. How should I even do this fight? I should have given this some thought. Yeah, okay. Can't use the same spell twice. I'm gonna use Fog. Try and numb those hits a little bit. And that should allow Mars to survive things. I don't really need him on artillery because those guys are going to hit hard now. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do Lit 3 if it becomes necessary. Yeah, I like Pokemon. I was thinking of it because I was talking about how lame it is that the Fiend of Water has a move called Ink. I was thinking, is there even an Ink move in Pokemon? They introduced a squid Pokemon in Generation 6, but I don't remember it inking. I do, however, remember the little squid in Finding Nemo that said, "Oh, you made me ink." I watch a lot of kids' movies. I wasn't really fully engaged there, but I did just beat the Fiend of Water. Roughly 2 months out of practice. That's pretty cool, right? I have satisfied my death rule here. And so that means when I fight Tiamat, Mars must be dead. That would have been a great spot to encounter Warmech. So, a single pro ring would still come... No, a single pro cape would definitely still come in handy. Oh, I forgot to check the altar. It works. But the teleporter is nothing. Oh. Does that count as being in the forest? Oh, whatever, I'm not proceeding. I'm going to rest first. I'm going to save first, perhaps even more importantly. Maybe buy some potions. This is a crappy place to buy potions, forget it. By that I mean heal potions aren't in the top slot, so buying the potions is time consuming. Or not even time consuming, it's more like I have to do it in a less monotonous way, and that's something I'm perceiving as a negative. It's a lot of money. It'd be nice if there was an option in this game to donate it to charity. Because what else am I going to do? I can only even visit one more weapon shop in the whole game. Okay, I have to walk every tile of this forest now. Thank you so much, Goatfishman. I'm very happy to have an opportunity to strike first here. What? Ah, I did not expect that to kill anyone in one hit. Oops, I hope Mars doesn't hit. Oh, he does. That was me resetting again because I broke one of my own rules again. Perfect. Heal the fully healed team. Better than attacking when you're banned from attacking. And if you noticed, that time when Mars did accidentally attack, Mars attacks, he used his bare hand because I unequipped him because he shouldn't have to attack anymore. Tickenwood's weapons, I paid attention when I was allocating them, kind of based on which one was going to get the extra hit. I'm not sure it matters right now. I'm not sure it'll matter again. They're both strong enough that it probably doesn't matter. I think right now they've got defense and sun sword in order from the top, which is Tick and then wood. Going with theming, Tick would never use the sun sword. It's a holy weapon. And he's kind of a non-holy person, to use the scientific term. I'm appreciating nature. Look how much I appreciate it. Appreciate. That's the sound it makes when you appreciate something. When in Rome. I'm only walking through the forest, so it's not like I'm saving up something. I have a tendency to be conservative with spells and items in games. You know, I'm one of those people who gets to the final boss with an inventory of mega elixirs and then doesn't use them against the end boss because I don't want to use my mega elixirs. So what's the point in getting them in the first place? When I think about it, it didn't start with this game because this game had such limited inventory, but it was Final Fantasy II on SNES or 4 if you're a real modern Final Fantasy fan, I guess. Modern Final Fantasy fan, yes. Which it should be noted, I'm not. I think that company's gone awry. I forget if I've expressed my views on that before, but basically the only thing I've really appreciated of Square Enix since the merger was re-releases of existing things. Even a lot of the remakes have been kind of weird. One that's interesting, I haven't played it yet, or acquired it by any means, is the remake of Final Fantasy Adventure, or Seiken Densetsu 1, which was remade possibly even in the last decade on GBA. It was called Sword of Mana, and that game was okay. The late game was a little broken, and there was almost as much post-game as real game, except that the game, I don't know what kind of person would be really strongly drawn into that game. It was not my favorite. And I like the original Seiken Densetsu, or Final Fantasy Adventure. So I don't know, I'm interested in trying that sometime. And then they released on, this is interesting, on iOS and Android devices recently, they released Romancing Saga 2. Not Romancing Saga 1, which had been remade and translated already, and was a reasonably good remake, at least, if not an original game. Whether or not you believe the original game was of high quality, which I think is a controversy. Romancing Saga 3 is considered a really good game, but that's not the one they did. We'll probably do it next. But it is the first time that game's had an official localization. I've heard it's bad. Not the game. Well, I think the game is considered kind of a gray area, but I've heard the translation, the localization is kind of poor. So Alright, what are we doing? What am I doing? Why am I going south? I think I want to do some party maintenance here. Kind of like that. Mars says, I'm not feeling very well maintained, but I guess I don't really need the inn. I want him to die. I can't readjust the party order. So I need to encounter strong enemies until they kill him. Oh, forest lava tiles. Lava tiles is the way to do it. Yeah, I'm going to use the heal staff even though that's kind of working against me. I'm going to go to the volcano, walk on lava. That'll solve my problems. Just as so many people find walking on coals inspiring, my party happens to love walking on lava. What did I do? Apparently I have no idea what buttons I'm pressing. I bet this is fun to watch, right? People killing themselves, flashing screen. Hope I don't have any epileptic viewers. Fun fact, a lot of the virtual console ports on Wii, and presumably on newer Nintendo consoles, if not others, they do patches to reduce flickering effects in older games because they were kind of commonplace. And so I always talk about Phantasy Star 4, and indeed it has a patch on the Wii Virtual Console. I've probably talked about this before. But the patch does two things. It reduces the flickering effects of a small number of spell animations, and it also fixes a bug, which is very uncommon for Virtual Console releases, which try very hard to be the original game. But it fixed a bug. There was a bug in that game where your stats went almost unpredictably wonky at level 99, and so going to level 99 was considered bad. They fixed it, and it actually helped someone create a patch for that on the console version, which we'd kind of been waiting for ages. You'll find that if you go to romhacking.net, you'll find it listed under Phantasy Star 4. I'm allowed to do this outside of battle, someone told me. I didn't think about it, someone else told me. Since we can. There, I didn't even use heal potions. I keep hearing sounds and thinking it's raining, and it's not raining. Okay, it turns out I am going to use heal potions because I'm not really sure what else to do. I know these imps, a couple of them are going to try to run away. Is there a way to make them stay? Fog 2 would be kind of dumb. Let's mute the imps. Are they all going to run away? Maybe I should go fight a real enemy. Something with an area attack. This is one high morale imp. Wouldn't that be neat if that was an actual statistic? There, my entire opponent group ran away. How can I make this easier for the bad guys? Are there overworld enemies that... Oh, there's the poison guys on Pardia Islands. Let's try those. Not the forest one. Me as well. Maybe that was dumb. Because I want them to be able to pummel Mars. Okay, well, that's fine. Perfect. Made the fight much easier. Yeah, I don't see any reason to go with Mars instead of look for the final dungeon. Maybe someone wants to point it out to me. Is there anyone who feels different? Like which party would you take to the Temple of Fiends? I'd love to hear it from anyone. But for now, I kind of have to do this. In fact, this is the only time I'm literally forced, I believe. This will be better for look. Partly because of the elemental resistance of the ribbon. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I think I've decided I'm not going to do a Mirage Tower today, but I'll get there. Because there's people moving around judging me. That's not the real reason. I think our battles are going to get a little easier here. How much damage can Luki do again? I seem to recall he was stronger than Wood by a good margin. Yeah, see, that's significant. Goodness. Do that again. Wow. Okay. This is going to be fun. Or at least interesting. I don't need anything special to do this, right? I have the chime and the cube and all that. I know I already went in the tower. Cube. Chime. We should be all set. 84 heals. I didn't think to restock them all, but... Cabin. Yeah, this is going to be good. So that's what's next. I'm glad I did this, even though I'm not on track. I'm close. Probably 2 more sessions, right? If the Temple of Fiends revisit goes perfect. Glad to be back, even if this wasn't long. It's going to be good.